Greetings. This is section 4 of a 4-part presentation on Neohumanism. In the previous section, our focus was on geosentiment, but our goal was to understand the neo-humanist concept of right thinking in respect to the outer world. Now let us examine the neo-humanist concept of right thinking in respect to the inner world. Geosentiment and sociosentiment, and the means of resisting them, rationality and proto-spirituality, pertain to the outer world. In other words, human beings have great need for rationality and proto-spirituality in respect to the outer world. But human beings do not attain anything in their inner life by those means. The movement of the inner life of humanity is entirely an internal affair. The journey into the inner world begins and ends with devotion. It starts with devotion as a cult. It ends with devotion as a mission. In the inner world, there are only two entities, I and my Lord. In the inner world, there is no one to create barriers, no one to exploit, no one to impose geosentiment or sociosentiment. In the inner world, humanity is one and indivisible, and progress toward the supreme is possible with every step. The inner world transcends rationality and even proto-spirituality. It has no concern with the objective mind. Nevertheless, a rational outlook is required for external life. Without rationality, your internal psychic flow may be disturbed by the onslaught of materialism. So study and discrimination definitely facilitate the mental race toward Him. This subjective approach through objective adjustment means striving for only enough crude amenities to live securely. As the poet Ram Prasad said, "I do not long to become a monarch. For this I have not the least desire. I have a hut of mud and bamboo. I only want enough to thatch its roof." Human beings sometimes think that they are sinners. All thoughts produce mental impressions or colors. Thoughts of sin produce mental colors that impede spiritual progress. They slow it down. So spiritualists do not think of themselves as sinners. Rather, they surrender all of their sin-related mental colors to the Supreme. Indeed, spiritualists eventually surrender all of their other mental colors as well. Good or bad, pretty or ugly, in the final analysis it makes no difference. Colors are distractions, blemishes on a mind that seeks total absorption in the infinite entity beyond all form. Surrender to the Supreme, surrender of mental colors, and finally surrender of the mind itself propels the devotee toward Him. The more one is established in neo-humanism, the more one is absorbed in the colors of the inner world and not the colors of the outer world. This makes it easier to move toward the Supreme. Intense closeness to the Supreme is the only heaven. It is a state of absolute mental purity. That state can only be attained by surrendering and thereby transcending your mental colors. For more information on Neohumanism, please view the previous 3 sections of this presentation.